Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Goonies World. I am Johnny Pharaoh, also known as Sean, and with me, as always, is Meanie, also known as Ryan.
Hello, everybody.
And, of course, we have Goonie, also known as Colin.
Hello.
And we are back for, I believe, our 5th installment of NUKED. Which, nuked with an exclamation point.
And all caps.
In all caps, which Ryan is going to run for us again tonight.
In what may prove to be the final episode of this series, I suppose. We don't normally do 5-episode series, but you just play until you finish. So
you play until you get killed by a giant robot.
Or, yes, that could happen, for sure. So, when we left our scrapper friends, Dennis Pickle and Honcho Pie, I do not believe, and one of you can perhaps fill me in if I am misremembering, but I do not believe that Honcho has earned a C yet.
No, I don't think I've earned my C letter yet.
No, you haven't. You ain't done nothing to deserve no C.
Yeah, I for those who are new, my character has no last name. And so, since Dennis Pickle sort of raised me, I'm hoping to get his last name, but I have to earn it letter by letter. So right now, I've just got the P.I. So I'm Honcho Pie.
Or perhaps you're a private investigator.
Yes, Honcho P.I.
Yeah. And you had made your way to Lake City, where you were sort of directed towards this Bane laboratory facility, which you managed to break into, and well, you've explored a chunk of it anyway. You did find what you presume to be the giant robot, mentioned to you earlier, as well as a bunch of laboratories, and you explored the right-hand side, as if you had come in the front door, which is what I had expected you to do, but you did not. There would be the right-hand labs, which will all seem to be kind of biology-related stuff, and that is basically what we've got. Yes, I've forgotten. We also had discovered some weird, apparently portal generating device, as well as the giant robot, and who knows what that's all about. I'm sure you players have some ideas anyway.
Yeah.
And so I guess we will pick it up. You are standing in the kind of break room area with the vending machines. There's like a Coke machine, and like a snack machine here, and a couple little tables with chairs, and yes, a water cooler as well. And unless you've closed them, the door opposite the front door is still open, as is the door to the labs you explored last episode.
Mm-hmm. And Honcho, you found some kind of key card, didn't you?
I did. I found it. I believe I found it in the giant robot room, or one of those associated.
No, it was in a book. It was. This just happened. I can't believe you just forgot it.
I know, but I got this problem with my tongue. My tongue feels funny, and I don't know. It's just like I think I ate too many chubby chodes, and I think my tongue's mutated. Look at this thing, and I'll shoot my recently acquired level 5 toady tongue out, my long sticky tongue. I'll shoot it 25 feet across the room till it hits the wall. So I've been so distracted, I forgot where I found the key card.
What in the hell? You got that tongue and you didn't even tell me?
I just got it. I've done been mutated.
Oh, goddamn, this place is crawling with mutations.
I know, but that makes me a little bit more like you, because you got them there mutated.
Yeah.
Vestigial wings. Now I got the mutated toady tongue. So we got to watch. We can't go back to Maggie's, that's for sure. Well, I better keep my mouth shut if we do.
You better just keep your mouth shut, period.
Well, I got a tough time doing that, as you're well aware.
I know all about it. And I've been telling you to shut your mouth for I don't know how many years.
It's been a long time. However old I am, I don't know.
I had no idea. But,
yeah, I did get that key card. You're right. I got it.
And just to clarify briefly, you did get it in the biology labs. And it wasn't a notebook referring to experiments. I mean, you didn't really understand much of the scientific terminology, but some sorts of experiments on imported creatures.
Yeah, they're importing them from somewhere.
Yeah, and I believe that we didn't explore all of the laboratories. There was another wing or something that we hadn't gone to yet.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah,
there is a closed door that you have not yet gone through.
Which would have been the left-hand wing if we had entered the way you thought we would enter?
Right.
Okay. Because we are players in a role-playing game. We will always do what the Game Master does not plan on us doing.
It does tend to be how it goes, but that's why it's fun.
Yeah. Well, let me see if this here key card works on this door.
On the door into the one that you haven't been through yet.
Yeah.
No, you don't see any place it would be usable.
Ain't got no slot.
Well, we know where that key card goes. The done elevator man told us we needed it to get in there and go down.
Yeah, that's right. We gotta go. If we need to go down, we need to have the key card before we go down. You're right. I remember now. It seems like it's been a week. It's just been like 5 minutes, but I don't know.
Yeah, you're losing your mind.
I know. It's got no more room in my head because it's fucking tongue. It's pushing out my mind room. There's like parts of my brain's now assigned to tongue that used to be assigned to memory.
Well, now you really can be a cunning linguist.
I know. I'm gonna have all kinds of cunning linguism with my toady tongue. But anyway, let's see here how we open this here door into the left wing, because there's something interesting in here, I'm sure.
Well, you attempt to open the door and it just opens. There's no lock or security or anything like that. And the just like in the biology wing, there are 3 labs here. And a hallway. And there's, unlike in the biology wing, I should mention, there is another door at the end of the hallway that looks different, because all the lab doors are open. This door at the end of the hallway is closed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's have a look around.
Yeah. Well, you might as well, just start go opening these doors one by one. First one, second one, third one.
Well, like I said, the doors to the labs are already open. There aren't any windows or anything. We'll have to just walk over to the doors. But yeah, the doors to the labs, and I probably mentioned this in the last episode, but it has been a while since we actually recorded it, so I will remind you that the doors to the labs actually slide back into the walls, and they're like floor to ceiling, like they hermetically seal the rooms, and all these labs have their own potential for oxygen supply and everything. So, if in the event of some kind of something happening, they could be potentially sealed completely. But they are not currently. The doors are all open to all of the labs. So it sounds like you're going to head down to the first one. And as with the biology labs, there's like a sort of a workstation, with a couple computers set up that are hooked up to these bizarre-looking machines, which you can't quite imagine what they could possibly be used for. Although, well, I guess in this case it might be a little a little more intuitive, because what you see is sort of like a flat stainless, well, you don't know if it's stainless steel or what, but there's a flat metal surface, almost like a stainless steel countertop or something, but it's kind of small. It's maybe like a foot square. And then there's above that, like a couple feet above it, there is another like large sort of foot square, like inch thick steel or some metal material above, sort of hanging down with like a rod attached to it that goes up into a large cylinder that then goes into this sort of large box that's attached to the ceiling. And there is a warning sign nearby that says danger on it, and it has a sort of a illustration of like sort of a hand being smashed.
This here's a hand smasher. It's a hand smashing machine.
Yeah, well, they got some weird contraptions in here. I don't know why anybody would want to smash hands, but, you know, this man that built this lab, this Bane, seems like he wasn't right in the head.
No, he looked good, though. You can see that statue of him we saw. He's a good-looking son of a bitch.
Well, kind of like me. You never saw me, you know, before. I mean, when I was, when you were just a baby, I still looked like this, but before then, oh boy, I was a babe magnet.
You was pretty when you was a youngin', Mr. Pickle?
Well, I still am pretty, but I was even prettier back then.
I'll remind our listeners they can follow us on Twitter to see some character portraits and judge for yourself whether Mr. Pickle is pretty. Yeah.
I feel pretty, oh so pretty.
Well, I wonder what this is for, though. It seems like you could get your hand smashed if you're not careful. Maybe it's like a stamper or something.
Hey, maybe it'll play that record of yours.
Hey, maybe you're right. I never actually seen a real phonograph, but it's kind of like what I think maybe I'm going to put my Deep Purple. I got 2 copies left of just randomly. I started the game with 3 LP of the same LP, and so I decided it was Machine Head by Deep Purple. So I'm going to try to play one of my copies. I mean, Sean knows it's a dumb idea, but Honcho don't know. He don't know no better.
Yeah,
I've been trying to. Yeah, I'm gonna try to play that on here. Side 1, Highway Star. Let's go.
All right. So I assume you're going to place the record onto the metal surface.
Yeah, it goes on here just like this. You gotta be careful not to put fingerprints on it. It says right here, beware of dust or scratches and fingerprints.
Okay. Well, you set it on there, and it fits nicely. You don't seem to quite know how to turn it on. Perhaps there is some sort of controlling device on one of the workstations, or
I want to make a brains roll to figure out how to play this here record.
Yeah, let's hear some rock and roll.
I know. I've been wondering what this here song sounds like.
It sounds like a car alarm that's going off in the parking lot next to my house.
Yeah, I was like, wait, is Sean live editing this or something? I was just hearing some noises right when he said I'm going to play the record.
Actually, go ahead and make your brains roll.
We'll make a brains roll while we enjoy the sounds of urban Kansas City, Missouri. And, hey, I want to go under, so that's good. I got a 6. I needed an 11.
All right. Well, you do find a switch on one side of the surface which you've placed this LP on. You think that might activate it.
Awesome. Says for rock and roll, press here. Go! And I'll press it.
And I was going to say that the honking...
I'm reckless.
Well, yes, you are. I was going to say that the honking in the background was some sort of alarm klaxon that sounded to suggest that this hydraulic press had been activated. But it stopped, unfortunately. So we can't. I can't just. I was going to do that little piece of editing for you, but
Thank you.
unfortunately, no, it is no more. So you flick the switch, and you do hear. Yeah, a duck. No, you do hear.
It's a robot duck.
A little bit of an alarm that sounds briefly as though to suggest, hey, this thing's about to start moving, keep clear of it. And the inch-thick piece on with the, sort of metal bar attaching it and going into the cylinder begins to descend kind of slowly.
Here it goes.
Yep, we'll play that rock and roll music.
Turn it up.
It's Freedom
11.
Rock.
It's Freedom Rock, man.
And eventually it
Play some
touches.
Skinner.
I mean, it takes, a good couple minutes because it's not moving very quickly. But eventually it does make contact with the vinyl and then proceeds to destroy it.
Ah, well.
Oh, damn.
Damn. Well, at least I got one more cow. I guess this ain't a phonograph player.
I'm not exactly sure what would happen if you put a vinyl record into a multiple ton hydraulic press and squeezed it, but that whatever that is what happens.
It makes an interesting piece of art, but no, okay, I was wrong about that. I was way off about that.
Yeah, it was your idea.
Yeah, I guess it was. Well, anyway, let's take a look around the rest of this room, see what else we see. This thing's just a smasher, I guess. It's just for smashing stuff.
Yes, so you do find some sort of, like in the bio labs, some notes and paperwork and various things. Apparently, this is some kind of materials testing area.
Yeah, we got any materials we want to test out?
I'll just try to test out this here Deep Purple record, but let's take a good search through the rest of this room. Make sure there's nothing interesting here. Look through all the cabinets and drawers and whatnot, and just do a quick once-over. Make sure they ain't got no good relics in here.
I got half a mind to just start taking the crowbar to all this machinery and lining my pockets with it. Nuts and bolts and gizmos and all that. But we'll see what else they got.
I would go ahead and make some sense rolls to see if you can find anything interesting if you can sense that anything in here is worth taking or.
Well, unfortunately, I got right on it, and in this system, I need to get under it. So
you do.
I do not sense nothing. I do sense nothing.
I have succeeded.
Well, Mr. Pickle, you are pretty confident that there is nothing here. I mean, you'd think that if you could get this machine taken apart, it might make for some interesting scrap. You might be able to, get some interesting scrap out of it. But that's pretty far beyond the scope of what you'd be able to do in the short term, anyway.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think this stuff concerns us. I think that what we came for, the treasure that we're after, I bet that's down the elevator.
All right, well, let's just go and check out rooms number 2 and 3, but I think he's probably right.
Yeah, well, let's finish up here.
Quick once-over of rooms 2 and 3.
So you go into the next room, and once again, you've got some workstations set up on a little, countertop. And this room has a sink in it as well. And across from the sink, there is another sort of large machine. How to describe it? It's sort of a big box surrounded by kind of a clear plastic. It's a very, I should specify, very large box, sort of surrounded by clear plastic with a sort of a hinged, clear, transparent, I should say, door that you could swing open. And there's nothing in this sort of chamber that you can see into because of the transparent plastic, but there are 4 different sort of objects hanging from the top that look like they're on these sort of articulating arms so that they could be moved around in 3D space within that large clear box. And there's a bunch of wiring and stuff coming out of the top of that, going into the kind of workstation areas, or workstation area.
Well, let's see if we can get rid of some of this plastic.
If this is blocking our view somewhat.
No, because it's you can see right through it. Then there's a little door that you could open. And I should also mention that in addition, there's sort of the 4 little almost nozzle-like structures on articulating arms seem to correspond to 4 tanks that are behind this clear box.
Hey, let's figure out how to turn this thing on and see what it does.
Got a little door on it, I think.
Well, maybe this is a record player. This could be that phonograph I've been reading about. So I don't want to waste. This is my last Deep Purple record. But let's just try to turn on and see what happens. But I ain't gonna put my Deep Purple record in there.
So this one has kind of an obvious power switch on the top, and it says it's labeled power. So that would apparently turn it on.
Well, there you go. Okay. Power. Maybe this is about Deep Purple. Let's see.
So you turn it on?
Yeah.
All right. Well, first thing is it beeps, and you notice a light come on. So that first of all, there's like an LED power light that comes on. But in addition to that, there's a backlit LCD screen that comes on, and you guys can read, right? It says initializing, and it's blinking, and then the 4 sort of nozzles and articulating arms start swinging around in this strange, almost mesmerizing pattern, and then they stop, and the screen switches from a blinking initializing to the word standby, and it's not blinking anymore.
Well, that was quite a show those arms put on for us.
Yeah, these dancing arm machine. And it says to stand by. I'm standing by you, so I guess we're doing the right thing.
Yeah, we stand by each other. It's some good advice from this box.
Yeah, this box gives good advice and has dancing arms. Well, that's what that does then.
Did you say it had that door on it?
Yes.
Well, look inside that door.
Well, you can see inside right now because of the door and all the plastic is completely transparent. But you can certainly open it if you like and try to investigate further or do whatever you want.
Well, I'll just make sure that I'll just open it and see if it does anything or changes anything.
When you open it, what would it do? You open it and the screen that says standby changes to a different message which says no retrievable object.
Oh, I see. This is like a game. You know, we don't have we didn't put anything in it to retrieve.
Yeah, you got to put something in there and then use the arms to grab it.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, metagamingly, I'm thinking this is some kind of a 3D printer maybe or something, but I don't think Honcho has any conception of.
At first, I thought this was like an elaborate Monty Python machine that goes beep joke.
Right. Aren't you lucky? Yeah.
I think there's actual function to it, but that's beyond Dennis and Honcho's intelligence, I think.
Well, I reckon this is not a phonograph. It's the standby machine.
Well, Sean, I reckon your metagame assumption is pretty spot on. This is indeed some distant, or not distant, but, fairly advanced, improbable type of 3D printer with advanced materials. Okay. And presumably could be made to fabricate all sorts of interesting prototypes of devices and stuff. But I don't think Honcho and Dennis have any idea of that, that they would need to obviously turn on the computers and feed it blueprints if they were going to make something. But I think that's probably outside the scope of their abilities to conceptualize.
It's like
you're right.
They have all this technology that could revolutionize, the current society, but they're just...
And we're just looking for cigarettes.
Yep.
Well, let's go take a look in room number 3, Mr. Pickle.
All right, number 3 coming up.
Would you like to potentially do a more thorough search of this room as well? Not to...
Oh, yeah, from the way you asked that question, it makes me think that I should strongly... Yeah, I did. I was going to do that. What I meant was go look at room number 3 after we do a thorough search of this here room.
After we do a very thorough search, which is what I was going to suggest.
Why don't you make some more sense rolls?
All right, here we go. Hey, this is terrible. This time I got a 19.
Yeah, I rolled an 18. Failed.
Well, you don't find shit.
Well, why did you suggest we take a thorough look? You're always doing bullshit. And
I know. I'm never going to get that letter C.
Never.
All right, well, since there's obviously nothing useful in this room for us to find, then let's just go ahead and go on to room 3.
All right. Well, you head back out into the hallway and down it and into the final lab. And oh man, how to describe? It's always tricky to come up with ways to describe things in a way that would make sense to people who don't know anything about anything. Right. Like Honcho and Dennis. Like I'm trying to imagine how they perceive things. And so in this room there is a large glass sphere it's like opaque, like dark black. Looks like it's probably made of glass. And it's sitting on a pedestal, and it has sort of wires running out of the base of the pedestal, and they go over to another sort of workstation area where there are a couple computers set up.
Okay.
Well, that looks stupid. I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
Can't make heads or tails of that.
Maybe that's a phonograph player.
Yeah, maybe, or maybe it's a record eater. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's look for a power button and turn it on. And see what happens.
All right. Give it some juice.
All right. There's not an obvious power button on this one.
No, you said it. There's a pedestal. It's sitting on a pedestal.
Yes, it's like it looks like a largish black glass sphere sitting on a pedestal that sort of cradles it. It's sort of like, it looks like it's built to sit on this thing. And then there's wires coming out of the base of the pedestal.
Does the sphere have any openings?
No.
Okay, so it's not like a helmet you can put on.
Does not appear to be.
Well, something's going on. It's got all these wires that power this orb or whatever it is. Maybe we can scribe. Look, it's a magic, whatever they call those things. And
There's a crystal ball.
crystal ball.
You can scry on people.
Put some hands on it. See what happens.
Yeah, how about I just see if I can't sense some kind of power source, a way to turn this on. Let me take a good look-see around here.
I'll give it a sense roll. Or brains. Actually, make it brains.
Well, I needed an 11 and I got a 3.
You get the sense that it is already powered on. It's just not activated.
Okay, it's on. It's on. It's just got to be activated.
Activate.
Activate orb. Activate scribe ball.
That is apparently not how you activate the ball, the orb.
Hey, what that man, Mr. Kane, said he was put himself in electronics. Maybe he's here too.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Kane Brain. Mr. Robot Brain. Mr. Kane, can you hear our voices?
Apparently not. Or he's not.
No.
Or he's choosing not to answer.
Yeah.
Idiot. Well,
I heard that. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm going to touch the ball. Can't help it.
Large black
Curious. Yeah.
Because I was going to make sure you got consent from Honcho. Anyway.
I don't need his
right.
consent. I raised him.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. Okay.
Cut that.
Drop it and move on. We won't cut it, but we'll drop it and move on. All right.
So you put your hands on it, and it doesn't do anything, but it is warm to the touch. Like you would think sitting here it would be cold, but it is not.
It's a hand warmer, for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay.
You got a hand smasher and a hand warmer. So, these people, they're handsy. They like the hands.
I guess let's do a little nice search through the rest of this room.
Okay, make some sense rolls.
All right, this time I got one under what I needed. I needed a 16. I got a 15. So
I got it.
Oh, you both got it. Okay. Well, you don't find anything that seems useful in terms of scrap or anything like that, but you do find some notes of the people that people had left behind who were working here. And they talk about things like, observed specimen worthy of importation, X kilometers west of these coordinates.
This is a scribe ball.
Oh,
They's observing the other place and seeing what they can see and whether they's going to import something to this place.
well, I'll hope one day to figure out all this mumbo jumbo, but I think that'll take maybe years for everyone to figure out what all these gadgets and gizmos do.
Well, we know there's this other place now, though. So maybe that place is better than here. Maybe they got some good relics in that other place. We don't think about that later, but maybe right now we need to head on down to that lower level.
Yep. It's about time.
Walk back down that long hallway.
All right. So you go back through the... there is one door left unopened in this hallway, but I'll just, without making us role-play it out, I'll just spill on you that it just has, like, lab coats and shit. It's like a closet. So,
Okay. All right.
Not really worth investigating that. So you head back through the sort of break room area and into the long hallway where you pass once again the giant robot on scaffolding on your left and the bizarre portal room on your right. And you are going to the elevator, correct? You're not further investigating either of these things at this time.
Not at this time.
Yes.
Very well. So you arrive at the elevator, and I believe Honcho's got the little key card.
That's right. Okay, we got the key card now. Open elevator. And I'll stick the key card in the slot.
Okay. You stick the key card in the slot, and the doors open.
Nice.
Yeah, how do you like that, Kane?
Oh, okay, well, if you insist.
I'm going to retrieve that key card, too.
Yeah. Go take us down, Mr. Kane.
Well, you have to push the button. I can't control it.
You're worthless. All right, push the button.
So you step into the elevator, and there are 3 buttons, as a matter of fact.
Oh.
One of them says 1, and one of them says bio, and that's kind of the middle one. So there's a 1 at the top, and then below that there's one that says bio, and below that there's one that says GEN.
Well, let's see. Number 1. Oh, well, if we went in the bio, that's number 2. So wouldn't that make this level number 2? But there ain't nothing up above, I didn't think.
No, I think there's some different kind of bio. That's what I think. They got a whole bio level down there.
Oh, maybe so.
But the bottom one, I don't know. You know they got juice in this building. Maybe that gen stands for generator. Maybe they got a big-ass generator down there.
Yeah, maybe.
But we ought to look at the bio level.
Well, I suppose if we already are on the bio level, it won't hurt. And we'll just stay right here, and if we're not, then we'll go. So
that's true. That's true. But I think we's on the number 1 level because we're number 1.
Well, I don't think they knew that when they were designing this elevator, but
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, that tongue really is just taking up all your brain space.
Well, watch this. I'm going to press the bio button with my tongue. I'm going to shoot out my toady tongue and press the bio button.
Okay, well, it lights up, of course, and the doors close, and you begin descending.
Oh.
And you descend for a reasonable amount of time. I mean, it feels like you're going fairly fast, but it goes for longer than you would have expected, but finally does slow down and come to a stop, and then the doors open, revealing a large, roughly finished cavern that they've apparently had dug out here. And it's, reasonably well lit, but this entire space appears to be about the size of the entire building above that you were just in, including the giant robot room and all the labs and everything. But all you see here, or at least initially, are, and I should mention the like the ceiling's about 20 feet, and again, it's kind of. Have you been? I don't know if you guys have been to the limestone caves where they have offices and stuff, but it's kind of like that in the sense that they didn't bother like finishing the rock walls and stuff. It's still very, limestoney. But all you can see initially, for at least from right now when the doors open, you're sort of looking out and you just see row after row after row after row after row of floor to ceiling cylinders that are opaque at the bottom for the first several feet, and then transparent from there to the ceiling about 20 feet up. And in each one of these cylinders, there is like approximately 12 foot tall, sort of humanoid, dog-like creature suspended in this viscous looking blue liquid, almost like rows and rows of Bacta tanks.
Mm-hmm. Right. Wow, look at them dog people.
I know.
What the hell are they doing with them in there?
He's growing them.
Do they look? I'm assuming that do they look alive? Are they moving at all?
They don't. Well, okay. As far as alive, it's really hard to tell from in the elevator, but they certainly don't appear conscious.
Mm-hmm. So they're just kind of floating, suspended in there?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can't tell if they're alive or not. They might be sleeping.
Well, he's big, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like Bane was creating an army of these things for some reason.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. He's going to try to take over the world, but then the world went done ended.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good thing. I'd rather get blasted with a nuke than getting, overtaken by one of these things.
I know. Maybe we ought to leave the elevator and go walk around the room and look real careful at everything. But don't touch nothing this time. I ain't gonna touch nothing because I don't want these sons of bitches to wake up, come out with their blue goo, and start messing with us.
No, I ain't touching nothing. I'll look around though.
Yeah, I just want to see if they got a phonograph player in here.
So you step out into the room, and it's kind of chilly, as it tends to be, in caves and underground and things. Probably 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And you walk around the room, and there's really, aside from these creatures being stored here, there's really not anything of interest to see, other than as you get closer, you note that each of these storage tanks has a cylinder or a display on it that has like some lists of current, vitals and stuff, and the status of the creature inside, and
he's alive, Mr.
Yeah, the first few you see anyway are alive.
Yeah. I counted all the way down to number 5. Number 5 is alive, that's for sure. Probably number 4, 3, 2, and 1.
God. Well, yeah.
Well, hey, maybe if we did wake them up, you could tell them use their master. And then they'd be our army.
Well,
because you're a natural-born leader, Mr. Pickle.
that I am. But, yeah, maybe we ought to just think about waking up one of them, and if he turns out to be an aggressive doggy, we'll put him down.
Yeah, I guess we could put him down. Why don't you see if you could wake him up and see what happens? Just one.
Well, let me look at this readout here. See if there's
I'm gonna
wake
unsling
up
my
button.
rifle. I'll unsling my rifle from my back.
So on the little display that has like the sort of vitals and stuff, it also says status in stasis. But you don't see an immediately obvious way to wake it up. I'm not sure how familiar Dennis or Honcho would be with touchscreens, or whether that was once a common way to interact with things.
Well, yeah, it is for me. I like to touch things. That's how I interact. I touch babes. Yeah, I'm gonna... Yeah, just my natural instinct. Gonna press this status button. Or, well, word. The word in status, or whatever it is, in status. In stasis. Is that what it was?
The status was in stasis, yes. That is a little bit of a tongue twister. I apologize.
Yeah. The status was in stasis.
The status was in stasis. I was going to riff on that, but I don't want to make you have to edit it out. Yes, you press on the word status, and the screen changes to a menu, and there are...
menu, I'd like to order some cheesecake.
No, cheesecake is not one of the options, unfortunately, but the options are stasis,
beer,
terminate, and revive.
Okay, well, now we want to revive this doggy for now. If we don't like him, we'll kill him, and then we'll terminate the others. Does that sound good?
All right, wake him up. Let's talk to this guy.
All right. Now, yeah, you got your rifle out. And
This is a terrible idea. Yeah, my rifle's out.
This is I have to say, this is probably an especially terrible idea with just like 12-ish minutes to go.
I know. We just bought ourselves a 6th episode.
We can go longer than an hour if we need to. But I, we are 5th level, so might as well get to see how we'd fare in combat if we have to. So I'm going to push revive.
All right. Well, I think Sean may have, been onto something. I think this very likely did buy you a 6th episode, but we will find out. So you press revive, and the blue viscous fluid in the tank slowly begins draining down out of the cylinder. And this takes quite some time because it is in fact quite viscous, so it doesn't flow very quickly. And as it does, of course, the creature that was sort of suspended in it is lowered as well. And it doesn't have a lot of room there in this sort of cylinder, so its feet eventually touch the ground, and then it just kind of slumps against the surface of the cylinder as this liquid drains away. And of course, It's thickly sort of glooping all around its fur and snout, and it's kind of dripping. Even after the liquid has drained away, it's still kind of stuck to it and dropping off in glops. But after several minutes, all the liquid is drained, and it takes a few more moments before anything else visible happens. I mean, you're just kind of standing there looking at this unconscious creature slumped against the wall of this tank for a bit, and then its eyes kind of flutter open, but it looks like it's very confused and weak.
Easy boy, easy boy. You're a good boy. Now, let's see, well, since it's kind of a dog man, maybe he can talk.
Maybe. Hey, you, can you talk?
It doesn't seem like it has registered that you are speaking to it. It still looks very confused, and it's kind of like looking around, but its eyes aren't like sharply darting around. They're just kind of lolling, and it looks like it wouldn't even be able to stand up if it weren't being propped by the side of this tank.
How do we open this tank, I wonder?
I don't know. This thing's weak, and he's confused. He can't tell us nothing.
Yeah, well, it can't hurt us either. I just want to see, maybe we could use it, in case we run into a robot. Good to have a dog man with us. But
is there any obvious way to open or eject the thing from the tank?
No, not really. And you're kind of startled as you sort of poking around at the little display screen there to see if you can figure out a way to open it, when it kind of lurches upright for a second, and projectile vomits this blue viscous liquid onto the wall of the cylinder, and then begins howling.
Oh.
Whoa. Settle down, boy.
So I think we gotta leave this bad boy alone, right where he is.
Well,
he's confused. Hey, buddy, stop howling. Can you talk? Can you talk apocalypse, whatever language we speak?
So you holler out to this howling creature. Now it has vomited this liquid onto, it's obscuring its face right now as it's howling. And as soon as you shout out to it, it stops howling, and a clawed forepaw reaches up and wipes the blue liquid off, and it registers your presence for the first time with a look of sheer fucking hatred, and it emits this blood-curdling growl and explodes the sides of the cylinder out and launches itself straight at Honcho.
Good boy. No. Good boy.
And I think we'll have another episode now.
Okay.
Because we don't have time for combat. I mean, we could keep going a little bit longer, but I think combat's likely to take long enough that we should probably save it for the next one.
Okay. Well, we can level up at least, get some more hit points before that.
Yeah, you're going to probably want to do that because this thing's not fucking around.
Yeah.
Well, we got a few minutes, Ryan. Do you want to share with our listeners again where we found this game and shout out to the guys who made it and all that good stuff? Yeah,
so I actually found it on r/RPG on Reddit. One of the creators, Mac, had posted about it, and as I've mentioned in previous episodes of this, we had literally just days before then been talking about, hey, we haven't done the sort of a post-apocalyptic thing on the podcast, and so I was like, oh my gosh, the universe is speaking to me. I should do this. So I looked at it, thought it was cool, reached out to them to let them know that, hey, I want to do this on the podcast. If you want to listen, whatever. So send them some money. But yeah, it's on itch.io, all nuked with exclamation point. And we think it's pretty cool. It's sort of a Knave Black Hack mashup. It's kind of an interesting little deal. And of course, I think we've played both Knave and Black Hack on this podcast.
We have.
So obviously we like both of those games, and I think mashing them up in this way was sort of a fortuitous coincidence that these guys, Non-Dairy Giant and Mac, happened to come out with a mashup of two things we like in the setting that we like, that we were just talking about doing right before I got it. So yeah, good stuff, and I definitely encourage you to send them a couple bucks and check it out. And I did notice today when I was looking at their itch.io that they are really pretty darn close. I mean, within just I think a couple $100 or so of reaching their goals. So if you guys enjoy listening to this stuff and think you might like it, shoot them some cash and check it out.
Yeah. And if you're a small publisher, or a large publisher for that matter, but no game is too small for Goonies World. And if you've got a game you've created that you want us to play, we'll probably screw it up, but we will gleefully play it. Reach out to us and let us know. And if you listen to the closing credits, Goonies' magical voice will tell you about all the different ways you can follow us and get a hold of us.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did want to say that in regards to this game, Nuked, we're playing kind of an accelerated version of it, leveling up each time, but how you would normally play, they've got like XP and everything, and there's rules for leveling that we're not doing because we wanted to get to all the fun stuff, since we're planning on 3 episodes, but now we're doing 6, but still kind of a pretty short campaign compared to what most people would play. So
right. Yeah, I mean, in terms of actual overall length, 6 episodes is really more like 2 sessions if we weren't recording this and doing it episodically. So
yeah, so I didn't want to misrepresent the system. Normally, you would be playing it a little differently than we are, but we're doing it this way just for the podcast.
Right, and also, I mean, when I reached out to Mac and we started DMing each other on Reddit, he suggested that we kind of do it this way, just to kind of get sort of a broader range of things to jack around with than we would have. And also, I threw in the Chubby Chodes kind of as another accelerator to... obviously you consume enough of them, then you're going to start getting mutations and stuff. And that was just to get to play around with the system and stuff,
Yeah, and that's why I got a toady tongue.
That's right.
By episode 5. So.
Yeah, the tables are fun, so if you have a table, you definitely want to play around with it as much as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've always been a big fan of random tables and all their manifestations, so it's always a plus for me.
Indeed. Well, I thought this episode might wrap it up, but it sounds like we're going to go for 6, as we said at the top of the episode. you gotta play it till it's done. So that's what we're gonna do, and we'll see you next week for episode 6.
All right, bye.
See you later. Hey everybody, if you like our podcast, don't forget to leave us a good rating and or review on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, Spotify, or wherever you're able. Subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter at Goonies_world, and check out our website at GooniesWorldPodcast.com. Email us at GooniesWorldPodcast@gmail.com. Thank you for listening.